All right. What I'm showing is, let's just assume this is a heated nozzle. This is the print platform. This is the printing surface. And you can see that there's a gap between the nozzle and the print surface. At no time does the nozzle supposed to touch the print surface. Okay, so that's the secret of 3D printing. The nozzle never touches the print surface. It always has a gap. Okay, so we're going to assume this is a heated nozzle at the proper temperature for the filament. This is the print platform. So what's going to happen is it's going to extrude filament through here onto the print surface. Okay, as long as this gap is maintained, this exact gap, it should print well. If it's too high or if it's too low, we get no filament out. If it's too high, we get too much filament coming out of the nozzle. So to maintain a good printing surface, this has to be the same distance from the nozzle at all times, all the time. Okay, so that's where tramming comes into effect. That's where a piece of paper is placed right here in between the nozzle and the print surface to measure the distance. And it is checked on the print platform in 4 different areas, on all 4 corners. Okay, if you have a flat surface and it's known to be flat everywhere, front to back, side to side, then you don't need a probe. You don't need to probe the print surface, because we already know, we've already taken into effect that this is a flat surface. Okay, so there's nothing to be accounted for. There's nothing for the probe to detect. There is no highs and lows. Okay, so if this is already flat and rigid, then no probe is required. Okay, because it's already in place. All right, so as you push filament through here, it's going to land on the bed. This print surface, or this nozzle, moves in all directions. It moves left to right, front to back, side to side, corner to corner. It's moving all the time. Okay, so it's considered to be a tiny little trowel. Okay, so it's actually troweling down filament to the print surface. Okay, so when the filament comes out here and the nozzle is moving, it's being troweled down. There's a slight amount of pressure. There has to be a slight amount of pressure to press the filament down to the print surface. This maintains adhesion. Okay, so as the nozzle here moves front to back, side to side, and usually the nozzle is, I guess, always moving in a forward direction. It's always moving forward to the front, to the side, to the back, so it's always moving. So the filament is always pressing down, being pressed onto the surface all the time. So we're going to go over here to the next video, the next screen. Okay, as you can see, the bottom of the nozzle is flat right there. So as filament is coming out and the nozzle is moving in a specific direction, filament is coming out and it's bending. It's being placed, pressed onto the print surface. Okay, so if it's moving in that direction, the trowel is troweling it in that direction. So it's being literally troweled down with a tiny little trowel. Okay, so no filament is going anywhere else. So if you see excess filament coming out of this nozzle in any direction, it's got a problem. You've got too much filament flow. If you don't notice any filament coming out, then you have a blockage. So as filament is coming out, it's constantly moving, troweling with pressure, a small amount of pressure, pushing the filament onto the bed. And it maintains that throughout the print. Okay, so we're going to go to the next picture. So as you see, the nozzle is above the print surface, a tiny little amount, and the filament is coming out, being extruded out the nozzle, right? And it literally has to adhere to the print surface because the nozzle is troweling the filament down. Okay, so whatever direction it's moving, it literally is troweling the filament onto the print surface. You don't want it too close because then no filament comes out at all. You don't want it too high because too much filament is coming out. It's almost like you could pick it off with your finger. You don't want to be able to do that. You want it to be troweling down. So it technically doesn't really need heat to maintain that adhesion because the nozzle is pressing filament onto the bed. Okay, so that's what 3D printing is. It's actually troweling the filament down to the print surface, and that's where the adhesion takes effect. If the troweling effect doesn't work, if the nozzle is moving and the filament is following, not following but moving with the hole, with the nozzle tip, then you have a problem. You need the filament to be adhered to the bed so that no filament is going anywhere else but on the print surface. Okay, let's see what we got for the next one. And as you see here, as it's troweling down in any direction, no matter what direction you're going in, the filament is literally being troweled down to the print surface. Anything other than that, it will fail. Okay, so we're going to go back here, take a quick look at the nozzle, barely floating. It's not touching the bed. It can't touch the bed because that's a problem. So the nozzle never touches the bed. It needs to be at the proper height to print properly. Okay, so there's the nozzle tip. It's a little bitty trowel, and there's the gap. So you need to have a sufficient gap and a working gap, not just any old gap. You need to have that specific gap between the nozzle and the print surface. There's got to be a specific gap. Otherwise, it won't work. All right, happy printing.